My name is Tanja. I am an InterNACHI staff member. I work in the education department. It is an honor to be with you all tonight. This is the very first chapter meeting, and it is super exciting for us right now. Just to give you all a little bit of a background why this meeting, our chapter is beginning, we had a few Georgia members to call us with some issues that we wanted to try to help get settled. I reached out and contacted some of the chapters that we have listed here in Georgia and did not get any type of feedback or assistance. And so I felt it was necessary for us to have some type of chapter that is actually active and able to be a resource for our home inspectors in the Georgia region. And so this meeting is going to be a really relaxed meeting. We want to get feedback from everyone. You all been in the field, want to know more about issues that you all are having, how we can be of better assistance for you. And I have more people in the waiting room, bear with me. How we can be more of assistance to you guys. Also to just make sure you all are aware of the resources that we do have for you. You might be in the field and not realize what all we do have that can be of assistance for you. So we do have some great staff also in attendance tonight that I really would like for them to introduce themselves. This is after hours, and just to show you just how much support you do have with InterNACHI, these staffers are here to show their face and also introduce themselves and let you know that they also are here for support for you. So if we could start with Lisa. Lisa, do you mind introducing yourself?
Not a problem. Hi, I'm Lisa. I'm the communications director for InterNACHI. I'm sure I've spoken to a few of you on occasion. I've been here 18 years, so overseeing a lot of it. So I've grown with the association. I've seen and heard a lot, but I'm also here to be a support system and help Tanja out with this new venture and see, see what we can do to make this a strong chapter and get some things rolling in the state. Awesome. I know there's not a lot of movement, and also get some feedback as well if there's any concerns with the membership or even, what you guys would like to see as a chapter and grow with it. And if I know that Tanja was chatting about bringing this to some live meetings as well too. So if there's anybody who say is a distance away from where she plans on holding the meetings, I'd love to set up a chapter, localized in your region, and we can discuss a lot of things. Or any questions, comments, you can always reach out to me, phone, email, I'm around.
Awesome. Thank you, Lisa. All right, Katie, how about you? You mind introducing yourself?
I shall unmute. Hi, everybody. I am Katie. I also work in the education department. I have the privilege of working very closely with Tanja every day, and we answer phones. And if you've ever sent a question to the fast reply, the chat bot, chances are you've chatted with me or Tanja or Lisa or Sophia. We're on the other end trying to find the answers to your questions. And we're just all so thrilled and proud of Tanja for taking this initiative and this step to create this resource for y'all. And, being that we're international, we have a very wide scope, but we also like to try and make resources for like local communities. And, everything's different states have different licensing requirements. And so it's really cool to have like a smaller pocket where we can focus on like local issues. So I'm here to support, help answer questions, hear you mostly. This is about listening to you guys and what you need. And it's just cool to be here. So thanks.
Awesome. Thank you, Katie. Sophia, welcome.
Hello, everybody. It's good to see you all. I'm Sophia. I am also in the education department with Tanja and Katie. And we're, like Katie said, on the other end, answering your guys' questions. I'm also part of the team that gets our education approved for continuing education. So if you have any questions about that, I'll be happy to answer. But it's good to see everyone here. And we're getting more people. So that's awesome.
Awesome. Yeah, we are. Awesome. So great. So one of the things that we do want to talk about, and I did hear Lisa bring it up as well. I know Zoom is probably more common now since COVID, but also because of, not knowing where many of you guys are located, Not sure what works best for you guys. Is Zoom good, or do you prefer to meet in person?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Zoom's good.
Zoom's fine.
Zoom is fine. Awesome, awesome. Okay, so that's a good thing. Now,
We got a
also,
message in the chat that we love Zoom also.
I love Zoom. Yay, I'm so glad you guys. Okay, that works wonders. Wonderful. So, who would like to be the first person to tell me anything about their business and what you feel that we can do as InterNACHI, the organization, to assist you? Don't be afraid. Somebody tell me something. Surely it's something that we can do to help.
Or even, you know, what you like to see this chapter grow into as
Right.
well. You know, sometimes I know a lot of chapters do a lot of different things. I mean, it's kind of a hit or miss with Zoom too, being virtual, maybe sometimes meeting with quarterly meetings or doing some education. I know some chapters even like to meet as a whole to get in front of like agents, home buyers,
Mhm.
Doing events like that as well. So just a few ideas or, you know, something to see this grow.
Yeah, all that's good. Yeah, both Zoom and in person is fine. I'm new to Georgia. I was practicing and living in Pennsylvania, and I've
Okay.
been down here for about 6 months now, and I haven't started inspecting yet. So I'm trying to get back in. That's why I wanted to connect with a chapter and try and get some roots down here. So I'm
Awesome.
all ears.
Very
Awesome.
nice.
Stephen, where are you based out of?
I'm in Douglasville.
Okay, you're my neighbor. Okay.
Oh.
So yeah, I'm
Awesome.
down in Noonan. So I do have a question actually. So I know that as an organization, InterNACHI has dealt with a lot of unlicensed states. We are seeing a ridiculous amount of these people in this state, especially during COVID and even now, that are undercutting prices. They're 2-week online, you know, inspectors are using bull crap software.
Yeah.
And they're not cutting my knees off. But my question is InterNACHI as a whole, is there anything y'all can do? And this may not be a popular opinion, but for me it is, to help us get to where we are a certified state to where it requires certification. Also, just to throw it in there, I did have a builder the other day that is now requiring a ICC code certification, or
Yeah.
they're requiring you to be a licensed engineer. They
Wow.
don't care if you're ASHI or InterNACHI, they could give 2 craps less.
Yeah.
So you're the second person that I've actually spoken with about that. I spoke with a guy earlier last week, and with doing research, he was actually doing a home in Henry County, but come to find out the home was going to be a, what you call these new things? These houses are Verbo or
The
or,
VRBO.
B&B, yeah,
Airbnb, yeah.
Airbnb. And so when I did a little bit of investigation as well as this home inspector, they're saying that any type of home that is actually going to be a business that is outside of the home inspection scope, they want you to be
Well, first of all,
educated and
that's
coached.
complete and utter crap, because I do have my certifications for commercial inspections, so they can piss off on that one. But furthermore, this was actually just a residential home. This is just the builders kicking back. And honestly, until a couple years ago, InterNACHI wasn't even acknowledged in the state of Georgia. Nick and all of you guys actually had to threaten basically to sue someone into the ground before everyone said, okay, that's fine. But yeah, I mean,
So what
that
home
kind of,
was this? Where was that located? What town?
it was in Atlanta somewhere. I'd have to pull it up. Basically, the agent called me and gave me the list of requirements, and I said, look, call this company. I know they have ICC code certified inspectors. Instead of me trying to yell at them and be like, this is bull, just get taken care of, and then we'll deal with it later.
Okay. So that was
So
Atlanta.
I can
So
pull all that. Yeah, I mean,
that'd
look,
be-
at the end of the day,
that'd
I've
be
got to
great.
take care of the client. So it
Yeah.
sucks to lose $600-700, but no.
Right.
But I care more about the completely just lack of knowledge that's coming through with some of these inspectors, because it's an unlicensed state.
Right.
I would love for at least to require to pass the exam, and I would love for it to require experience, but I
Right.
don't know if there's
Yeah.
anything we can do about that.
We have seen states, I think New Mexico has just started implementing licensing. So I think a lot of places are moving in that direction where there are more requirements. And honestly, it's a huge help to reach out directly to the government and ask about that. But that is something that we definitely are seeing more and more of.
Yeah, I mean, we've been seeing that trend since 2005. I mean, you know, all the states are trying to be licensed
Yeah.
with it. The problem is what I find is a lot of states, even like bigger states like California, there's just nobody in the government that wants to hold the licensing, or they come up with an excuse, hey, there's no money for the licensing. I mean, out in Colorado, where I'm located, there is no licensing, and it is truly the Wild West. Anyone and everyone can pop a sign up in their front yard and call
Right.
themselves a home inspector. It's very entertaining. Especially, I live in downtown Denver, and the amount of people even showing up and what they're doing. Excuse me on this, guys. I'm sorry about that. I have some loudmouth dogs in my house tonight. What I will say, until the licensing comes about, I mean, definitely be vocal with your local legislation and such. But what I've seen people who undercut and try to beat the undercutting guy is to get knowledgeable, start using the specialty programs. We'll buy your home back guarantee, or the move-in certified, or even, you know, tout the experience that you have. I've even seen some people in the unlicensed regions go into the certified master inspector just to show another designation to say, hey, we have way more experience. And also, you know, communicate. There's been a lot of things. I spend a lot of my time on the phone, of course, but I've seen a lot of people who's, you know, moved over to the call centers. I can't stand call centers to start with. You know, you can tell when you pick up the phone or you're calling someone back, you can tell they're being sales dogs. Do you want to book an inspection? Do you want this? Do you want that? No, I just am returning a call that, you know, the voicemail Kevin left for me, and it's impossible to get through. Whereas I've been telling a lot of inspectors, take that experience, even if the call has to go to voicemail, if you're busy in an inspection, picking up your kids or doing something else that you're not able to answer right away, possibly, you know, get that person on the phone and educate them. Because even up in the Northeast, even with a downturn in 2008, when the market was completely terrible, I found a lot of people saying, hey, I never cut my prices. Even when the market was slow, when things weren't moving, when people were price shopping, what I did is I took that time to educate them on what I'm going to offer them, what I'm going to give to them, and pull out the pieces you don't want. And I know it sounds like the general basic knowledge with it, but when it comes down to it, think about it this way. I mean, you know, it's much like, do you want some Joe Schmo with no insurance? I live in an old Queen Victorian in downtown Denver. I don't want some Joe Schmo coming in that's going to wreck my home and destroy, you know, and then I'm out $30,000 fixing a $2,000 repair on this. So, I mean, what I do is I really question them and get the educated advice. And, you know, word of mouth gets out there too. When it comes to people.
Stephanie just asked about marketing. And yes, we absolutely do have a marketing department that can assist you. Being CPI certified, you do have access to marketing.
And then
I can put a couple of links in the chat too.
Yeah, I was gonna
Awesome.
pop in a link as well too. It's our everything link. And it's basically 15 successful steps on how to start and run a business. That's
exactly the one I was just about to drop.
Perfect.
I'll put it in there now.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's nice, even with a facelift, like, hey, it's 2023. I might have been doing this and it was working for the past, you know, few months, few years, but now it's time because you're getting these fresh faces in there. They might be terrible inspectors, but the key to that they have is they know how to market themselves. And it surprises me to see all these companies come in where I'm like, even in the Denver metro area, where I'm like, you're never going to make it in this industry. Next thing you know, you have this excellent marketer, has a team of people. Can he inspect? Nope, he can't inspect anything. He's the worst inspector in the world, but he knows how to talk the talk. He's getting that client and he's charging them a decent price for it as well, too.
Wow.
When it comes down to
I need their marketing team.
You know, I mean, check that everything link out. Always reach out to me. We can always have a one-on-one chat of what you might be using, what you might not. Again, because I do see a lot of it, even though, you know, I'm centralized. I talk to a lot of inspectors. I do a lot of traveling. So surprising enough, what might work in the Northeast doesn't work in the South or vice versa. And it's sometimes just nice to get a fresh perspective of, hey, this is where I'm at. I've even seen some people pop in and say, hey, I'm going to offer the buyback, or things are really slow, I'm going to offer the move-in certified right now, and kind of, base it around there and get a little following, whether it be agents, whether it be a community where some of the houses are moving, and get your name out there that way and get the word of mouth with it as well. We're like, hey,
Lisa, can you explain more about the buyback, just in case they're not sure what that is?
is anyone participating in the buyback program currently?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, perfect. And do remember that everything like I sent to you, on the other half of the buyback, there's the move-in certified, which a lot of people haven't needed to use because the houses have been flying off the market for a couple of years now.
Yeah.
Now that things are slowing down, the interest rates are high, people are just trying to unhitch whether they moved in and said, oh, what did I move into? Or it's just time to make my move now that I've gotten my house corrected. I'm going to start with the move-in certified because I think they go hand in hand. The move-in certified is something that you would market to the seller's agent or the broker. Say they have a house on the market that isn't moving, or, it's in a heavy community of, say, I'm trying to think of a military base or something like that. Basically someone coming in sight unseen, or someone just wants to hustle this house out. The move-in certified is great because then you can market yourself, like I said, to the seller side end of things. Go in there and say, hey, you know what? I'm going to go in, I'm going to do my typical home inspection. I'm going to charge for my home inspection. But in the end, I'm going to notify if there is any big safety concerns happening right there with it, which one helps the seller get the house move-in ready, helps the realtor again, or who's ever selling it, or the face of that, being able to give someone peace of mind to know, hey, I can move in and I know the house isn't going to fall on top of me like a money pit. Or what that can also do on the latter half of things is it can also set you up with another type of inspection as well, because, you might have a buyer come in and say, hey, I see, Ryan did this inspection a month ago, but, a lot has changed. We've had a big hurricane, or I even want the buyback guarantee. And the buyback guarantee is much like, again, another way to give the buyer assurance that you're going to go in, you're going to do your best inspection, and you're going to notify them of any big defects or anything that might be of concern to them. The buyback guarantee, if you're not familiar with it, again, is listed on that everything link, but it's a 90-day guarantee that we give, where you would go in, you would do a typical home inspection, and within the 90 days of closing, not of the inspection, of closing, if you come in there and you do miss something, the client is that unhappy with the inspection you performed, we'll buy the home back full purchase price. No questions asked. And it's a really good selling point. Do we buy a lot of homes back? No, we don't. But it gives the client assurance that, you're going to do the best inspection. You're not going to miss anything. And if you do, they have a comfort zone to fall back on.
Mhm.
And again, it's going to set you apart from the rest, using those specialty programs. The realtor or the client might be saying, hey, you know what, I'm on the fence. Ryan and Kevin are both, same price, same area, have the same experience, but, I really want to use this inspector because I have this coverage going on right now. It's not an insurance policy. So do keep that in mind. It's not that you're going to miss something, we're going to fix it, and the client's happy in lieu of insurance. It's going to be an all or nothing purchase. So they know if they make, one of the biggest investments of their life, that they have a coverage over it for at least 90 days of moving in. And again, even if you're using it or not using it or thought about using it, again, it's always a good plus to see if it works for you. Just as easy as it is to register for the buyback program, you're able to unregister as well and take your name off the list. But another plus of this is I attend the NAR conference usually on a yearly basis. I didn't attend this past year because there was a pretty bad storm in Florida during the event, but it's also a big point when I come out with InterNACHI and promote InterNACHI and InterNACHI inspectors. The agents beef after they're grabbing all the micro testers, of course, then they're like, hey, what is this buyback program? Because it limits their liability with it. And again, it gives the buyer peace of mind to say, hey, I really want to use you, because if you mess up, you're buying my house back, much like I used my own home. I'm not going to bring in Joe Schmo, the carpenter, to come tear down my wall. I'm going to bring in a company, even though they're going to charge more. I know they have insurance, and that's almost like better than an insurance coverage, because you won't have to fight about getting this fixed, or, getting this resolved, you have that safety net, and you as an inspector know you're covered. If that ever does come into play where you need to exercise that buyback guarantee, nothing counts against you. I mean, when it comes down to it, it's a human eye. So, there could definitely be room for error in there, but at least, again, you have a safety net where you don't have to hit your insurance. You have a fresh face, you have a nice marketing point. So there's a lot of different angles you could work this out with.
Mhm.
Awesome. Thank you, Lisa.
Yeah. Sorry to go on a tangent, guys.
No, that was great. That was great. So I do know that we have someone in Douglasville, Noonan. Where else? Do we have anyone south?
Hi, everybody. I'm Stephanie Friend. I'm still trying to get my certs
Okay.
because I'm working full time and running a business. But I really want to switch to this, especially excited about being a female owner and being an aggressive sales and marketer. I really appreciate this meeting tonight and seeing everyone's faces and hearing their experience and whatever they have to say. So I'm in Warner Robins, Middle Georgia, about 2 hours south of Atlanta. We're
Like it.
booming here. It's because of the base, but I keep talking
Yeah.
to agents and people are just coming here because our prices used to be, up until recently, a lot less than Atlanta
Yeah.
Yeah.
and even surrounding areas. But now our housing market is out of control. I'm in a $1,200 3-bedroom, 1-bath house under 1,200 square feet, paying $1,200 a month. It used to be $9,000.
Wow.
And you can't rent a house here for less than 16. It's worth a darn. It's
Mhm.
insane. And all of the inspectors here are full. Well, I want a piece of that market,
Mhm.
Awesome.
but
Yeah.
I'd love to have an all female team. That would be a great niche in the market. We'll see what happens. But until I get certified in Georgia, even though it's not a certified state, that's going to make me stand out. And everything you said about marketing and punching all those, checking those boxes with what we do and what makes us different is completely right. I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
Anyway, thanks
Another-
everybody.
Yeah. And
Thank
another key
you.
thing you guys might want to pay attention to as well, 2 things to kind of open up your service areas. There is a listings link on the left-hand
about to
side
say
of your
that, yeah.
members dashboard. The listings, I find a lot of people like you were just saying, where people will move into the hot areas. You might say, hey, Atlanta was hot, but now, it's a slim market. Now they're moving into Warner Robins, and I'm going to destroy that name, but or different areas and kind of move. I've seen a lot of people move their service locations around because
Yeah.
you could list up to 10 service locations, and you might want to move where the market's moving as long as it's not too far of a drive for you. And also the auxiliary services under profile and settings. I can post a link in this chat as well. But there's also a way where you can add additional services. I have been seeing a lot of people calling in clientele looking for specialty inspectors or looking for inspectors that specialize in one area, whether it be mold, whether you're Spanish speaking, whether you offer the buyback. You can always modify those to what your forte is and help yourself stand out even further from your competition.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Also, we have over 60 certifications outside of just the CPI. Many other, ways for you to market yourself, to be able to say, hey, I'm certified as a home inspector, but I'm also into the specialty of pools and spas or HVAC. Please look at that as well, because then you're able to download that logo, market yourself on your own website as well, to just show that, you are able to cover those things, those different aspects that other home inspectors might not have.
Mhm.
I just dropped that link in our chat too. Apparently I'm
Awesome.
here to drop links.
Yay,
Dropping links.
link dropper.
But a little tip that I like to give people too, while navigating the website, just speaking of links, a really good hack if you're ever looking for something, it's generally nachi.org / the thing you're looking for. So for example, like your Georgia page is going to be nachi.org / Georgia, all spelled out. And that's going to take you to the Georgia state page that has like just, it has the general information and the CPI information, but also like if you scroll down, you're going to see information about chapters and how to search for like CPIs in your area. And same thing with this link I just put in there. It's nachi.org/certifications. So that's like a nice little hack for getting around the website and finding things.
Yeah, and everything is usually listed on your dashboard. So those
Mhm.
those side links as well, if you can't find it in the main body, check out the side links because those will always lead you somewhere. Even off the top of my head, I can't think of anything that I can't get to just about from those side links.
Hmm.
But again, we have an online chat. We have a great phone support system as well, too. If you find you just need some assistance, of course, we're Monday through Friday by phone and our chat and everything, but feel free to email too. I mean, you'll always get a response.
Absolutely. I see that someone said bring the House of Horrors to Georgia. But Ryan said he's seen a few of those if you want to see one. So
Yeah.
maybe we can get you guys to see those. Unless you're able or interested in starting a House of Horrors. Do anyone here know how many House of Horrors we have?
3.
No.
Awesome.
I was gonna say
Push up.
2. My bad.
Judson Burke. All right.
We got
That,
one up in, yeah, we got one in Pennsylvania.
rise for that.
Look with that.
Awesome.
But I have been hearing about somebody trying to get one in Alabama. I know it's not in, directly in the state, but I know one of our members is really keen on getting a big training facility and going above and beyond any of the houses. With Ben's move, I'm not sure if everyone's been alerted of that, but Ben Gramico, our COO and head of the our dean of the school, actually moved to the Carolinas to bring some more InterNACHI presence in there.
Oh, wow.
So if you're ever looking to make a road trip, I mean, Ben's been hosting some stuff as well too. And we're hoping to see some movement with him doing some stuff down in the South as well.
Absolutely.
Georgia's
Yeah.
considered the South, right? I'm sorry. I'm in Colorado, so I consider Georgia the South, I would think.
It is. It
Oh, yeah.
absolutely is.
Perfect. Has good food. So
Has
Hey,
anyone
since
had,
there's-
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, since there are a few business owners in here, I don't know who we have that are, big versus small owners, but if anyone can chime in, I know I'm way down on business right now. How are y'all doing in this market? I'm just curious. So a quick thing about me. So I was the owner at Home First Inspections out of Noonan. I had the opportunity to buy out Hero Home Inspection, which has been established since 14. I purchased them in August of last year, and I am down about 65% across the board since August.
since you started that, have you been branding both of your companies? Because it sounds like you put a lot of time and effort into your first business. Have you?
So the biggest thing that's really killed me. So Hero had a substantial amount more marketing out there. I never marketed. Okay. Their average basis per year was roughly twice the size of mine. So where I would do, $110,000 a year, they were averaging 250, 260 a year minimum. Since 2014, they've done a lot more marketing. They had a bigger base. So I adopted their base. And I know I lost a little bit when I took over, because that's just the way life works. But with the market, even my tried and true agents, I haven't heard from damn near anyone. So with both companies combined, even assuming a 25% loss, I should be doing 14 to 16 inspections a week right now. I'm pulling in 6 on a good week. I mean, I'm getting choked out over here.
I'm in the same boat.
Okay. And see, and I know Lunds Pro, RIA, all these guys, everyone will tell you that they're still doing amazing. And they are, and that's great, but they had to let go of a lot of people too. So it's not just us.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure I wasn't the only one that was getting strangled over here. I mean, I'm definitely still making it, don't get me wrong. But I'm also paying off a transition from this company. I'm having to delete their Google profile because the last 6 freaking reviews were 1 star and it was god awful. So I've got to start their Google completely over and getting reviews all over again.
That sounds like that's some of your problem right there. Your bad rep.
It may be part of it. Honestly, it really may be part of it. Because But the crazy thing is they don't have that many reviews. I ranked higher than them on Google with my other company. So if
Mhm.
you pull up home inspections in my area, my other company's still listed
Okay,
just for that purpose. I was 36 or 38 5-star reviews, no negatives, no 4-star, no nothing.
okay,
They only have 41, 42 reviews since 2014.
okay.
Whereas my other company started in 19. But yeah, I'm basically going to have to redo that, start sending out links. But I was just really curious how everyone was doing as far as, I know we're all down because of this market. I was just curious if anyone else is seeing 50, 60%, or if I was just really screwing the pooch somehow.
No, it's down.
And-
Housing sales are off like 45, 50%.
Wow.
And I have been going to Warner Robinson and Macon and further out just to kind of stay afloat.
We'll see. And I'm in Noonan, and I would say probably a third, maybe even a little bit more than a third of my business is Griffin up to McDonough. And then a lot of the accounts I took over from Purchasing Hero, I spend way more time than I want to admit all the way up to Johns Creek and Smyrna and Lawrenceville. Like I'm driving an hour and 15, hour and 20 minutes one way to get to at least 60, 70% of my inspections.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
Now I do have a small gas fee included, and I'm fine with that because my average is up, but I just, like I said, when I'm seeing, 4, 5, 6 a week, and I'll have one week where I do 2, and the next week I'll do 9, it all averages out. But it's just, I know it's the market, but like I said, I just wanted that reaffirmation that it wasn't just me, because man, it's rough.
And I've seen a lot of people starting to drop out. Of course, with everything getting so heavy and the market moving, everyone was going to get into this industry and become a millionaire. I mean,
Yeah, no,
even
I'm glad they're dropping out. I don't want them in
Yeah.
this industry. I'm tired of those people. Those are the ones that are making us all look like hell in an unlicensed state, just to be honest with you.
Right.
It's kind of like your fly-by-night realtors that joined during COVID because everyone and their mama was buying a house. Now
exactly.
they're all disappearing and everyone's scratching their head in the butt at the same time going, why can't I make money? Well, you don't know how to work for it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, half of them. I mean, even when I went to the NAR conference, right, at the beginning or at the end of 21, I can't tell you how many agents I saw there that I'm like, oh, where are you working? Oh, I haven't even started working yet. I'm just here to get some. And I think that's the same thing with inspectors. A lot of people moved from their day job or things weren't being built. They were moving in the
Mhm.
market. So everyone started coming in, but I'm thinking, what I'm also seeing the dropout now because they haven't been an overnight millionaire, or they realize, hey, there's time and effort in this, or inspecting's a really hard job. Not only
Yeah.
do you have to market yourself, but you have to be a good inspector and
Wouldn't there be
know
more?
what's going on.
Wouldn't there also be more lawsuits with these uncertified inspectors? It seemed like the clients would just be freaking out and saying you missed all these big items and you're costing me a fortune.
Well, a lot of
It's-
people, skip the inspection too as well with it.
Mhm.
So, now they're starting to get that backlash. And that's why, again, I'm seeing these realtors loving these specialty programs because it's limiting their liability and
Mhm.
it's being able to be trustworthy because, if you're going to offer this program, you must really stand behind it. And I don't see a lot of low ballers because, I mean, one, they don't want to do that coverage on their own, but they don't feel that secure as an inspector.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Well, Georgia's surrounded by Alabama, South Carolina, Florida. They all are a licensed state. We're sitting out here by ourselves.
Yeah.
Right.
And if you look on OSHI's website, it talks about Georgia being a non-licensed state. It's very interesting on their cover sheet. I was looking at it the other day. Actually, I was refused access to a property because I wasn't an OSHI inspector.
What?
Oh, you let me know.
Oh no, I think. I let her know. I said, I straightened her
When
out.
was that?
She said you have to be an OSHI inspector. It was in their contract, and my client, I'd already inspected two townhomes in there, but she started on me like that, and I know my tone changed a little bit when I started arguing with her, but I can't help it. I let her know. I said, just go on the internet, okay? I said, you don't even know. You must not be from Georgia. We're not even a license. She said I had to have a license to be an inspector. I'm like, no, I got a driver's license. It's like, and I got a hunting license, but and I'm anyway, I won the war. But she also had to have $1 million worth of insurance. I was like, lady, I sell more property than the real estate agent by educating people on what they're buying. If it wasn't for me, you wouldn't even be selling this condo, or townhome. But we need to lobby to get Georgia, the Secretary of State. What can we do to get the state to license these people? I mean, you can show up with a business card, a flashlight, and a legal pad, and a pencil. You don't even have to have a pen, and be an inspector. It's not right. I mean,
Oh, especially because the bordering states, I mean, you see these
Mhm.
states, that they have to jump through all these hoops. So people just pay
Well,
attention to
yeah.
what it is.
Yeah, I've been certified. I got 42 certifications with NACHI. I mean, I work hard. I got like $14,000 worth of equipment. And,
I would,
and it takes me all day to do an inspection.
Right.
Count my driving time, and it's a lot of work. I don't understand it. We need to do something with this state.
We do.
I don't know
I
how to go
highly
about it.
recommend,
Go
Go
ahead.
ahead, Mr.
then
Bennett.
we go for the relationship with the builders, cause they have a lot more political clout and teeth as a whole, and a lot of the builders, as you all know, here in Georgia, don't really have to have a lot of certifications and other things because they contract out. I deal with that. A lot of builders are from wherever, but they have a site guy. But if we can get a lot of the builders with us walking hand in hand, that'll be a kind of more smoother transition, because they, in reality, they're our opposition to something like that, because they have inspectors now on their teams for the new build, a lot of remodeling properties. So that is a major hurdle in our way if we don't have an allowance with them first.
Now, I've got to rebuttal that actually. And I don't mean disrespect or argument or anything like that, but I'll tell you what I've seen. I know great inspectors who are blacklisted from properties because they do a good inspection.
Amen.
And they will call the builders crap out. Like today's a perfect example.
Mhm.
I called out an entire new build. Everything was beautiful in the house, but they don't know how to flash, hardy fiber cement siding. They get to go back and redo the whole damn thing. And I've cited from Hardy's installation manual. I did the new build 2 weeks ago. I've already been told that I'm not to come back out there.
Wow.
Right. So keep in mind that I would love to have these builder relationships, but the builders here, they don't want anyone in their way. They want that shitty person who doesn't know the difference in their elbow and their thumb out there calling out cosmetic crap because they don't have to worry about spending money to fix it.
I agree with you. I don't take that as an insult. I agree with you, because I'm one of them inspectors that have been banned, but there are still a good portion of builders that build quality homes, that a lot of the old timers that are now on the hierarchy of the new builders, and a lot of them on the boards will have a lot more political pull than a lot of the newbies that's coming in. I'm talking about the old builders with reputations that's been around 40 plus years. Them the ones I'm talking about.
So let me ask you, we're hearing a lot about D.R. Horton. Is that the only ones that's like demanding to see certification?
No,
Nobody else wants to
that's-
see
that's
that you're
several
certified?
more.
Everybody
I've been-
has to see it.
I've been asked about 3 or 4, but I don't even want to inspect a new house. I like old houses.
Okay.
I like old houses. I mean, I've been a builder myself. I've been in this business since I'm 70 years old. I've been in the.
Hey, Judson, you
construction business
froze,
since I was
buddy.
15 years
Can't
old.
hear you.
Never changed. Do
Can
what?
you say it again? You froze up.
Yeah.
Oh, I said, I've been in this business since I was in high school. I've been in construction related services all my life. Builders are not, I care less about them. What I care about is people buying these houses that's got, the realtors are my problem. The realtors tell people, well, it's been completely remodeled. There's no house that's been completely remodeled.
True.
These agents, if you're a good inspector, they don't want you around unless they're a good agent. I have a handful of good agents that appreciate me. But I've been following this one agent. I mean, this one inspector around in my area. He quote an InterNACHI inspector. Well, if you look at his record, he went to one class 15 years ago. No continuing ed, nothing. These realtors love him, and he inspects a house in about 2 hours. A little checklist inspection. So I met him after 15 years. I did an inspection on his house. Thank goodness I didn't set it up like that. But anyway, he pulled up in the driveway, and we went over. I did a thorough inspection on it and sold the house. And he called me, and he never. Thank me or anything. Of course, I did my inspection was just a bunch of BS because he didn't write it down. So these realtors, you got the inspector that, you got these realtors that they'll hire for their listings, you know, they're going to hire him. But for somebody else's listing, they're going to hire me because they know he's going to lie. And that's what we get with the licensing problem. We got to weed those guys out.
Unfortunately, there's nothing we can do. I agree with you though.
We can lobby the state.
Yeah, I mean I'm all for the certification, you know, and I do feel bad. There was an inspector the other day, I never got his name, underbid me on a house. I was $514. He came back at $300 flat.
Woo-wee. He's hungry. He had to pay rent.
Well, he can pay what he wants to, but
I know.
Oh no, I know. I mean, I'm not mad at you. You go get your squeeze. That's fine.
No, I know.
If we can't come to terms here, because I'm not cheap.
I'm not either.
Expensive, but I'm not either.
No, I'm $500 regardless.
I think it comes down to
My
market.
average is $476.
My base price is $475. You know, and I'm gonna charge a little more, and then giving up that 3% for square, you know, and then $3.50 for gas. I mean, yeah, it's sad, but I'm gonna figure. Okay, well, I'm gonna start on it tomorrow. I'm gonna find out how to start lobbying who to talk to down at the state capitol. It's not far.
Count me in.
I mean, we need to get down there. We need to find out whose button to push. It's sad that South Carolina, Tennessee, Alabama, and Florida. I worked for an inspection company down here for about 3 years. There's 8 of us, and we worked all over the Southeast, and we were doing specialty inspection for stucco and synthetic stone or adhered stone and mold. I do a lot of mold. I don't know if you guys do mold, but right now when we're tired like this, when we're slow like this, mold is my big thing. I make good money on mold, just doing indoor air quality. Take a sample inside and a sample outside, two samples, under $100 cost, but you'll be surprised what you'll find in a crawl space. You might not think it looks bad, but I'm telling you, and they'll call you over and over just for you. I got it on my truck. I can do it in 20 minutes, 30 minutes. I can pull 2 samples and send them off the next day to IMSL, and they do the great testing. I'm all for that. Radon's one thing, but I think mold is more important to me.
Yeah,
I've been really pushing it, and y'all would be surprised what's in these houses. Telling you.
Another thing that I've seen too, and I'm just going to use an example in it being in an unlicensed area. I live in a certain area of Denver, and I've seen a lot of these flippers or home remodelers coming in and hitting some of these sites, such as the neighborhood page, local Facebook neighborhood pages, the Whittier section, for instance, of Denver. So I'm part of the Whittier groups, you know, just to kind of see what's going on locally, crime, lost animals, et cetera. But there's a lot of people where I'll have to go in there and be like, hey, use an inspector, you know, even on that Nextdoor. I can't stand Nextdoor, but I'm on Nextdoor just to kind of watch what's going on. A lot of people looking for advice, you know, like, hey, even down to a leak. like, who do I call in? I'm hysterical. I can't get a plumber in here. Why don't you get an inspector in there before you get a plumber? Then you have an HVAC person. Then you're out $500 just to find the root to the problem.
Right.
Educating and getting the homeowners.
Well, and then you can get involved with those communities too. You know, you are in with the neighborhood and people can see your name, recommend you, all that. Nextdoor, I definitely see a lot of people talking about that on Nextdoor, even here in my area.
And I even see a very big inspection company, a local inspection company that is a member of ours. And that's where people get it. Oh, you know, you need to use Huffman Inspections. You need to do this. You need to do that. And it's kind of interesting to see the community sharing it. It's much like I mentioned, I live in an old Queen Victorian. I can't fix my house. My husband's the most unhandy person ever in the world, but I rely on my neighbors because I know they're going to give me good recommendations. That person's been in their house, not, you know, Joe Schmo going to come in, tear down the plaster wall that my kids destroyed and put up some crazy drywall. I want a specialty person and I want someone good, even like, you know, Ryan, I think was it, or I'm sorry, no, it was Judson. You were saying that you like the historical homes. Even there's even a historical homes Facebook page for my area because I'm in a section of town where all the Queen Victorians are. And I go there, like when I want my floors redone, I'm going to the historical homes. I don't want to go pick it out of the home guide or
Wow,
pick the guy who's going to
good
BS.
tip.
So, I mean, and again, I'm reaching out, I mean, telling you as a consumer, as a homeowner, as, you know, having an unhandy spouse in my home that we don't want him touching anything. But, you know, in that scenario, I want to go with those specialty groups as well, too. So again, while you're marketing your, you know, trying to lobby this for licensing, you might want to consider trying to pick up some side work doing that. And also another side thing too, maybe as a chapter, as this grows, as you share ideas, maybe getting together and attending a local real estate event or joining a local chamber of commerce to get the name out there. I know that you might have heard of this, Stephen. You mentioned you came up from PA. I know that PA had like the ASHI wheel that they would run around the state with their chapter and be like, oh, it's the ASHI wheel
everywhere
with everything. But, you know, it's all about, they were excellent marketers. If you ask an agent, and in fact, when I asked the agent, because I've seen a few agents over my time where it's like, oh, we only use ASHI inspectors. Why? And my favorite response is, oh, I don't know. The broker I work for told me. Well, what is so special? What do they have to do? Oh, they have to pay a fee and tell them that they've done a few inspections. They don't even have to prove anything.
No, they buy lunch. They buy lunch for the realtors.
Okay. Yeah. And so you're talking about paying a fee. So anybody in Atlanta metro area, you've heard of Trust Dale on TV.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Check this out. So I had a client, I went over, checked out her deck, a deck inspection. I don't care what it is. If it's paying, I'm playing.
Right.
So I go over there, and she had hired a Trust Dale guy. Anyway, it's a long story. And she was telling me about how the system works. So I called Trust Dale. I said, hey, I want to be I want to join Trust Dale, $500. It got nothing to do with your criteria, $500. They ask you, they can send you 10 questions. I couldn't even give them 500. They will only take my $500. What's up with that? Same way, I mean, NACHI is the best in the planet. I mean, there's nothing better. I mean, we're nationwide, worldwide. I wish I'd started this program 20 years ago. This year, I think I'm going to try to get every certification NACHI has.
Wow, that's great.
I don't care. It's like I was telling somebody the other day, it's like, I don't know if anybody's been a Boy Scout or Girl Scout, but you get merit badges. There's 130 of them for a Boy Scout. You got to have like 21. I've raised 4 boys, and a couple of them got like 60. Well, that was like huge. And I just enjoyed going to those classes. Well, now I don't have a TV in my TV. YouTube, InterNACHI. And I just watch the videos. I have a blast. Oh, yeah, my internet connection is unstable. Just told me.
If I'm hearing,
go ahead, I'm sorry.
So if I'm hearing it correctly, besides looking for a way to get recognized as a licensed state, also what I'm hearing in the from the suggestion of Lisa and Stephen is that we should consider as a group a strong marketing campaign right now of supporting being certified as a new chapter and as a core group that wants to push the bar for licensed certified inspectors. So is it anything, Tanja and Lisa and Katie, that y'all can formulate for us outside of the normal advertising that could help push that to the forefront as a local chapter, but as a whole group of InterNACHI in Georgia?
Absolutely. Yeah, how do we do that?
Well, I
I
know,
mean, oh, go on, Brian.
I was going to say one thing that's going to happen if we're going to do that. We need to get in touch with RIA. We need to get in touch with Lunds Pro. We need to get in touch with Avalon. Any of the bigger hitters like that, they've got to be behind it.
Okay.
They're the ones that do the most business in the state. They've got to be behind it.
I mean, I just can't believe it's gone this long. And I'm great. Y'all, this is serious that we're having.
It
this
is
conversation.
serious.
Nobody's talking about it. Nobody's talking about it.
I will say with my experience though, with the licensing, that could also bring in more inspectors, because then again, you draw on a lot of people saying, hey, I want to do this. So I have seen, as not to kind of throw off licensing, it's great to have that license, but consider this, anyone can get a license, much like you can become certified, you can take some exams and do your thing. So I would heavily get your name out there and start doing these advertising maneuvers as you're advocating the licensing as well, simply because we want to have a group in there, a strong group to say, hey, you know what? I know Ryan, I know Steven, I know Judson, because they were at the realtor event, or they were supporters at our, or even a local home show. I've even had members go and say, hey, I'm giving up the business. The market's so bad right now. Go and advertise at their local fair. Of course, this is not a big city they were in, obviously, going to their local fair. Ended up getting awarded, like, where were they? At Chamber of Commerce, and ended up being so busy because they met the right people, and it wasn't in a social or professional, or it wasn't in a professional setting. It was in a social setting. Hey, I'm at the fair with my kids. Oh, I'm a real estate agent. Let me grab your card, or let me see this, or I didn't hear about this. Or even educating and not having to make it so much of a sales pitch, but on a comfort level with it.
Yeah.
And having them understand, rather than being like, oh, I don't know why I want ASHI, besides the broker told me, or this is what someone did. I have no idea. Because when it comes down to it, it's much at the clientele. They don't know the difference between ASHI, InterNACHI, or any certification. They want to feel comfortable using you as an inspector with it.
And Ryan, I was going to ask you too, when was the last time you had someone to look at your logos and maybe look at your marketing?
So funny enough, I don't do marketing.
Okay. Maybe consider letting the marketing team, make some suggestions for you.
I've done extensive marketing before.
Okay.
And what I'll tell you is that I only saw about 100% return. I only saw a 2-to-1 on anything I spent. And when I did that, I lost control over the agents I was interacting with. And the truth is that I will fire an agent's ass faster than they can sit down for being a bad agent, for trying to throw me under the bus, for trying to do wrong by their clients. Doesn't bother me one bit. And I've done it quite a few times. I've done the same with investors that continue to call me. So yeah, I personally didn't get a lot out of that. What I found that has worked the best, and it's what the largest teams in our area do in the inspector firms, is you have to build a relationship or have someone go build a relationship for you, literally one house at a time, so to speak, one office at a time. That's the only thing that I've seen be beneficial. Lunds Pro, Avalon, like all of the bigger guys, they have people dedicated. Literally, they have women they hire, they pay them 50, 60, 70 grand a year, whatever. Their entire job is to go to offices, introduce themselves, kiss realtors' butts, bring in business. That's the only way I've seen that it works positively. I've tried Google ads. I've tried, Facebook ads. I've tried, you can pick it. I've tried it. And for me personally, this isn't everyone's experience, but for me personally, it failed miserably. Okay. But yeah, I want to throw that out there. I do think having a good and easy to use website, and a good and easy to read, report will get you many steps ahead. But in where I'm at least just south of Atlanta, it's still word of mouth. You pick up one big team, everybody follows, period.
Mhm. I agree. Another thing is go in and do a like coffee and donuts or lunch for the realtors and just give them a course or just a small lecture on what they can do or what they can expect from inspectors, and kind of leaves your name. You give them a pen with your name on it or some kind of swag, and and then they remember you.
Do you know Nachi? They have videos and they even have a program that you can get the realtor continuing ed. Teaching them about your inspection business, and you can go and present that video. That's what I'm working on. And I agree with you. If you know, back in the day, like you go back to 2003, 2005, if you didn't answer your phone on the third ring, you didn't get a deal.
Right.
It was a wild west. Now it's different. But we got to get in the realtors. That's my whole new campaign this year. Nachi's designing. I'm getting the website. I just paid them this morning. I'm redoing my website, and it's got to be mobile friendly, or it doesn't work. It doesn't matter. And
and I mean, getting all the key components in there too, because
every
again,
one of them. You
I
can't miss
mean,
any of them. And then
you have a lot of people who are working during the day. They're relying on hitting your website and getting all those answers done, because I can hit 50 million websites to find a contractor at the end of the day or someone I need to service. But when it comes down to it, when you call me in the afternoon, I'm going to lose my train of thought. I'm in the middle of working. I forgot what I was, but I want all my key questions answered there. I want to see what the top picks are with everything. One other thing too, with these specialty programs I mentioned in the beginning of the call, I saw a great success in someone who really wanted to promote the Move-In Certified program. They wanted to get into this office. They went in that office. They offered to do one free inspection. They said, hey, you know what? I'll do this inspection. I'm going to put the Move-In Certified sign. I want to see how fast this house sells. I don't know if it was luck of the draw. It was, one of those things that just the pushing point. He got that house to sell within a couple of weeks. Boom, he had that whole office just from that specialty program. And that's what they wanted. We want that program, or we want the Move-In Certified. We want the buyback guarantee. My clients are eating it up. My office is eating it up. They know that it's going to limit their liability. So again, just putting on a fresh coat of lipstick. On
so Move-In Certified the same as pre-inspection.
Basically so. I mean, and you're still going to do the same inspection. You just want to make sure.
But just putting a different name on it. I mean, in the past, we always call it a pre-inspection, but so Move-In Certified is like up in the notch a bit as far as what the purpose is. And I've never marketed it like that.
Or even consider, once someone gets there, hey, again, like I mentioned before, oh, I see that Judson did this inspection, but he did it a few weeks ago. I'm kind of concerned with the storm coming in, or I really want to do that. But again, I'll use Judson because he's already familiar with the house. So it's a way to get yourself 2 inspections possibly on the same property. Or even come in and do a re-inspection. You might not be charging for a full on, but they might have some concerns on certain areas. You're still going to get a job. You're still going to have income coming in, and you're going to still have word of mouth, and that agency is going to be pleased. Your truck's still going to be in the same neighborhood a couple of times, remembering that name.
Well, I don't know. I mean, some places in the country that they have too many houses, but around here in Georgia, there's not any houses. I mean, I just noticed one in my neighborhood right here. It's they put the coming soon sign. They don't put a for sale sign. They put a coming soon sign, and I saw them pile in. I didn't know when soon was, but it was today when I left. Went out early.
Do you know why they do that?
Yeah.
Why?
So they line up 15 buyers on the same day.
So not only can they buy up, they can gauge interest to make sure their price is going to be right, but it also gives them the opportunity to pick up both sides of the sale.
The agents aren't coming, but just a buyer without an agent. So that way they get there's the buyer and the seller.
Mm.
Yeah,
And it's after 8, you guys. It has truly been a pleasure, and I see we do have some things to work on. I will also get with Ben and Nick to see what we can do as an organization to help with the lobbying.
Maybe
some-
we can bring them into the next meeting.
Yeah,
Well,
Okay,
too,
cool.
you know, and maybe get some live feedback or even
right,
face to face. I mean, if everyone's great with Zoom, it sounds like you guys are pretty spaced out. It'd be
I'm-
great to have them, you know, even in a small group setting where you,
right.
it not like, hey, it's an email that came through or a phone call or,
Mm.
you know, something like that, not to be lost in the shuffle. And it's not a huge group, but you know, I mean, I'm sure people will start joining this group too with word of mouth. And
Well,
but I see big things happening. with
yeah,
this.
I didn't know where to start. I'm president of the North Georgia chapter. We've had one little
Oh.
Zoom meeting. So I couldn't wait to be here. I'm sorry I was late, but I want to get going. And so I wanted to see how Zoom meeting went. And I'm like,
Okay,
y'all got me fired up, but
awesome.
whatever thing you can, you know, reach out to me, anything. I kind of like your other idea about, you know, you might be sorry for what we're asking for to get everybody licensed. It might, but I don't know. I just think that some of the stuff I've run into, well, it's just like that lady wouldn't let me on the property. She said, you have to have a license to be an inspector. We don't. I'm like, okay, well, where did I go get it? I go get it before I come over, you know. It's like, no problem. I've been hunting for one for 20 years.
So I definitely back up and understand what you're saying about it might bring in more people.
But
Here's my problem. You have to have 2 years prior experience to start a freaking pest control company. You don't have to have any industry experience to become a home inspector.
or a realtor, or a
Which
realtor.
one? I mean, well, you know, in real estate, okay, you're showing people stuff. That doesn't even really require knowledge. It requires research ability.
Same
So
way.
I
with
get
insurance.
that. Ours requires knowledge.
I know. I mean, I build houses and tear them down and put them back together. I've been doing it since I was a kid.
Mhm.
It's like, I get, that's why it takes me too long to inspect the house, because I want,
Yes, sir. Yeah.
you know, I got a
Tangi, where your
magnifying
office
glass
is
out.
at?
I'm
Yeah,
sorry,
I was
Where
on
your
one 9
office is
hours
at?
yesterday. I'm good. Sorry. I'm sorry.
my office.
Or were you, your chapter, or where this chapter located at, or?
Oh, with this being our first meeting, I really don't have a physical location. I
Okay,
do
okay,
live here in Georgia, if that's
Okay.
what you're asking. I'm
All right.
here in Georgia. Mhm.
Where you
okay.
at?
I'm in Griffin.
Oh, come on now.
Yeah, you way down there. You're
Whoop,
way
whoop.
down
That's
there.
why I
Not
was
far from
asking, like,
Stephanie.
who's south, who's
That's
south?
right.
But you know,
Maybe we could do like another meeting too, where it'd be like a centralized location, bring in some education, bring in the Gramicos or bring in something substantial, meet face to face, even if it's like on a, you know, well, you guys don't have any weather conditions there where
oh,
you
yes,
have
we do.
Yeah.
You've
like-
evidently never been out in Georgia in the middle of freaking June and July.
I have not.
We
You-
got all
I'll
kind
take
of
your
weather down here.
tornadoes.
What are you talking about?
Yes, yes.
We got every kind of
Absolutely.
weather. We've been in a tropical rain forest for the past 3 months.
Mhm.
Mm.
So,
But
yeah,
yeah, we would definitely work on getting Ben and Nick available as well, just to see what we can do as a whole. I do want to make sure that everyone do send me a quick email. I had all types of trivia questions to ask, but everybody, I'm so glad everybody, you know, chimed in and had a conversation. This is what we really wanted. So we do have some things to work on and to talk about and to carry on and help you guys with. If there's anything else that you know maybe wasn't brought up that we need to bring up on the next meeting, email me that as well, so we can go ahead and have some talking points for the next meeting.
Do you want to do those trivia questions real quick, or, you know, pick some straws out? Cause I know we have some door prizes to attend.
Yeah.
You know, that
Okay,
we-
so real quick, I know Johnson named that we had 3 House of Horrors. Can anyone name where those 3 are located?
Florida.
Colorado, North Carolina, and Pennsylvania.
You got two right. Colorado and
Florida,
Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania.
Who's Ryan? Okay.
Wasn't there one out in Florida?
Yep, Western Florida, Bloomsburg, PA, and Denver.
Yeah.
Boulder.
Boulder.
Boulder. I said
Boulder.
Denver.
The one in Colorado, the one in Western Florida is at Pro Lab where it's mold tested. I've used them
That's
for years. I
right.
just changed the IMS.
Oh, yeah. Mhm.
That's right.
You get a bonus point for that. That was
Look
good.
at you.
I feel
Jackson
like
is
you should get a
cool.
bonus point for your InterNACHI shirt as well. I would just like to shout out to Judson for wearing the gear.
Yeah, I don't make them in my size, unfortunately.
Ah.
We'll get you one. We'll get
Yeah.
you one.
We'll make it happen.
Yeah.
Okay, so who established InterNACHI? Can anyone tell us who? We've been
Ben Bernanke.
Grimico
Nick
and
Grimico and Ben.
Bernanke, yeah.
and who's the other one?
His brother, I forgot his name.
brother. I
Yeah.
don't know
His
name.
brother.
It's
I don't know his
true.
name.
Nick
That works.
Grimico.
That's work. It's Ben and Nick. That works.
That's
They're
it.
brothers. You're right. You're right. That's awesome, you guys. And I thank you guys again for your participation. Please do send me an email, okay? So we can make sure you get your CE for tonight. You get 1 hour. So that's 1 CE, as well as any issues that we need to discuss for the next meeting. Thanks, you
Great.
guys, for making tonight so successful. Thank you, my staff members. Thank you, guys.
I totally enjoyed it. I'm glad I made it. Look forward to seeing y'all in the future. I'll be at the next meeting, and then I'm going to invite y'all to my meeting coming up.
Awesome.
Let's
Let's
do
do
that.
That'd be great.
And
That's
real quick before y'all
collaboration.
get
That's what
out,
we need. Uh-huh.
I did drop my number in the chat. So if anyone needs to contact me or wants to talk about any of this, you can call me directly. It's my cell phone.
Cool,
Awesome.
Ryan.
Thanks, Ron.
Thank you.
Thank you. Awesome.
Oh, good to see all of you guys.
Yeah,
Thank you,
thanks.
I'll
guys.
definitely be
everybody
at the
for
next
coming.
meeting too.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Absolutely.
everybody.
So much.
Thank you,
Bye,
everyone.
guys.
See you
Y'all
next
Bye.
time.
Take care.
Have a good night.
See you guys.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Safe and safe.